Hello, welcome to video 1 in the series of videos that we are recording to teach you JavaScript step by step. My name is Ravinder and all these videos are being produced for you by my company, which is Mindfield Software Solutions Private Limited. You can visit us on our website www.mindfieldsoft.com. Now what all we will be covering in this series of videos that we are recording to teach you JavaScript. In video 1, which is this video, we'll get started and we'll teach you all the different aspects that you need to understand to start programming using JavaScript. So that is what the agenda of video 1 is, which is this current video. In video 2, we'll understand how to work with variables. Now in case you already have some experience working with programming languages like C, C++ or maybe Java or maybe PHP, so you already know that any programming language has a support for variables. So different data types, different variables that you create to write any program in that programming language. So in video 2, we'll be covering how to work with variables using JavaScript. In video 3, we'll understand how to work with functions. So how to create our own functions, how to use those functions in our website, and how to use the functions, the inbuilt functions that are provided to you by JavaScript library itself. In video 4, we'll understand how to use conditional statements in JavaScript, how to write loops, how to work with switch statements. So that is what we'll cover in video 4. In video 5, we'll understand the object-oriented programming concepts using JavaScript. JavaScript is basically an object-oriented language, but the syntax that you use to write classes and create objects in JavaScript is not the same as you do with other programming languages. So that is something that we'll cover in video 5. And in subsequent videos, then we'll decide what next to do. Maybe we'll work on a small project using JavaScript to teach you, all the concepts better. So that is something we'll decide later. So in 5 videos, this is what we will try to cover. Alright, now where do I use JavaScript? This is a question that you need to ask before you actually start writing JavaScript. So basically, JavaScript is a client-side language which runs in a web browser, and we use JavaScript to give the user a very good experience when he's working with your website. So where actually do you write JavaScript? Now because we are working with web technologies, so basically you have to understand that anytime you work with something related to web, you need to understand that there is a browser and there is a server. So browser is something which we also call as the client, and server is, as the name itself says, it's a server. So you have a user who works with your website using his browser. So this user is not the client, this browser is the client, right? So the client will send a request to the server, and the server will send a response back to the client, right? So where do we write JavaScript? We basically write JavaScript on the client side, which means that JavaScript is written and is executed over here in the browser. It has nothing to do with the server. So you might be using PHP as your server-side language, or ASP.NET as your server-side language, or JSP as your server-side language. So JavaScript has no concerns. JavaScript is only concerned with that I'll be written and I'll be executed on the browser itself. So I have nothing to do with what you're doing on the server side. So you can use JavaScript in probably any web application you work on. You might be using any server-side technology, but JavaScript is something that you need to know in case you want to create some great websites. Alright, now what all do I need to work with JavaScript? Basically, what we are trying to explain you here is that in case you have some experience with other programming languages, you already know that you need some good softwares in which you will write the code. Then you need some very good compilers that will compile your code, find out the errors and all those things. Now, what all do you need to work with JavaScript? First thing, no compiler is required. So JavaScript is not a compiled language. JavaScript is basically an interpreted language, right? So JavaScript is interpreted step by step, line by line. So it's basically a scripting language. So you need no compiler to work with JavaScript. No advanced software. So for writing JavaScript, there's nothing critical that you need to download, that you need to have with you. So no compiler, no advanced software. Just a simple notepad is sufficient to write JavaScript. That's it, right? So you need a notepad to write JavaScript, and you need a web browser to run JavaScript, right? So these are the only two things that you need to work with JavaScript. That's it. So and basically every computer has these two things. So you are basically ready to write JavaScript with whatever you have with you in your computer right now. So that's all that you need to work with JavaScript. All right, again, another important question: do I need to know HTML to work with JavaScript? Now, to answer this question, you have to understand that you can work with JavaScript if you know HTML and even if you don't know HTML. So the answer is both, yes and no. Yes, because you are writing JavaScript in a web page, so you're trying to make your website good. So if you don't know HTML, you won't be able to create a website, right? And if you don't have a website, you actually cannot use JavaScript to that level, right? The answer is no, because you don't have to learn HTML to learn JavaScript. So you can actually learn JavaScript separately with very basic knowledge of HTML. You can still learn how to write JavaScript, but keep in mind that you won't be able to use JavaScript to its full power in case you are not that good with HTML. So just keep that in mind. And JavaScript is used to make your websites better, right? So websites are created in HTML. If you don't know HTML, basically you will not be able to use JavaScript properly. If you do not know HTML, you can still work with JavaScript, but to really use JavaScript, you need to know HTML for sure. That's something we already discussed. All right, now let's get started. Now, when you write JavaScript, you always write JavaScript in an HTML file, and then the JavaScript is run and processed by the web browser. So you need to learn a very important tag in case you want to work with JavaScript, and this tag is called the script tag. Now what this tag does is, this tag tells the browser that whatever has been written inside me is not normal HTML. So please treat whatever is written inside me as a script code, right, as some language, and process that language according to the rules of that language. So how do you use the script tag? You basically say script language equal to JavaScript. That's it. So you close the script tag here, and you basically put the ending of the script tag here. So what you're trying to do is, you're trying to tell the browser that whatever is being written inside the script tag, please do not treat it like HTML, treat it like a programming language, JavaScript, and process all this according to the rules of this language. So this is all you need to understand to put JavaScript in your web page, right? The script tag, and you provide the language with the script tag so that the browser understands that whatever you are writing over here is actually JavaScript, not normal HTML. Now we have to write JavaScript, right? So in case you have a web page, where inside your web page can you write JavaScript? Now, basically there are two options where you can write JavaScript. Number one, you can actually write JavaScript inside your web page, right? Which means that in case you have your website with 3 HTML pages, let's say 1.html, 2.html, 3.html. So you have a website with 3 pages, and you want to use some JavaScript in this page, and you want to use some JavaScript in this page, and you want to use some JavaScript in this page. So you can write your JavaScript inside your web page itself, which means that you will write your HTML for this page plus JavaScript in this file. You will write your HTML for this page plus JavaScript in this file, and you will write HTML for this page plus the JavaScript in this file, right? So you have separate JavaScript written for 1.html, separate for 2.html, separate for 3.html. So in case you have small things to write in JavaScript, you can put them directly in your web page, right? The second option, you can write your JavaScript in a separate file, and then you can use that file in your pages, right? What do we mean by this? We mean that in case you have 3 pages in your website, and you want to write JavaScript which you will be using in this page, and this page. So you need to use the JavaScript in all these 3 pages. So now what you will do is you will put the HTML for this page in its own file, HTML for the second page in its own file, HTML for the third page in its own file, and you will put JavaScript in a separate file. So let's call this file as myscript.js. So like the HTML pages have an extension HTML, the JavaScript file has an extension .js, right? So now HTML is written separately for all these pages, and you will put JavaScript in a separate file. Then you will use this JavaScript file in your first HTML file, second HTML file, and your third HTML file. So basically you write your code here and you use it in the HTML file where you want to run the JavaScript code. So you have both the options. You can put both HTML and JavaScript in the web page itself, or you can put HTML in the web page and you can put the JavaScript in a separate file. Alright, now let's write our first JavaScript code. Alright, so basically what you need to do is create a structure for your HTML page if you want to write JavaScript. So I have created a basic structure for my HTML page. My page starts with this tag, ends with the HTML tag. Now every web page has 2 sections. One is the head section and the other one is the body section. Right, now where can you write your JavaScript code? You can write your JavaScript code in the head section if you want. You can write your JavaScript code in the body section if you want. Now generally what we prefer doing is we prefer writing all the JavaScript in the head section and then using it in the body section. Or even if you want to write JavaScript in the body section, you can put it somewhere at the beginning of the body or somewhere at the end of the body, so that all your JavaScript is nicely written at one section in your page. It's not scattered here and there in the page. So as a very good practice, you can start writing all your JavaScript in the head section and then you can use it in the body section. Alright, so let's write our first JavaScript code. So what we have done is we have created a basic HTML page. Now we'll write the script tag. So we will put the script tag language equal to JavaScript, and we will close the script tag over here. Now we have created a section for the browser to understand that whatever we are writing in this section, please treat it as JavaScript. It's not HTML. Alright, so what we'll write inside the script tag is document.write hello world. So JavaScript gives you a method to write inside your document. So what is a document? Basically, document is this HTML file that we have created. So we are telling JavaScript that, in my file please write hello world. So this is a very basic JavaScript that you can write as the first JavaScript code, and you can see it running inside your browser. Alright, now let's write this HTML file, create this HTML file and run it in the browser. Alright, so I have a normal notepad open. So I'll create my web page. So I'll say HTML and I'll close my HTML page over here. I'll create my head section. I'll just close my head section here. I'll create my body section and I'll close my body section here. So this is the basic layout for an HTML web page. In the head section, we will create a section for writing the JavaScript. And we'll close the script section. So what we have done is we have created a section for the browser to understand that whatever we are writing here is JavaScript. So we'll say document dot write hello world. That's it. So we have written our first JavaScript line of code. Right now we will save this file. So I'll say Control S. I'll go to my E drive. I got a folder called website, and I will basically save this file as, you see over here I've put double quotes. So I'll save this file as index.html. So I've created an HTML file which is basically kept in my E drive website folder. So if you see over here in my computer E drive website folder, I got a file called index.html. Now let's run this file. So I'll simply double click on this file and we get hello world as the output. So the JavaScript code, it actually ran and it wrote hello world in my web page. Alright, so this tells you how to write your first line of JavaScript code to print hello world onto the web page. Now let me show you a small variation. You can write document.write hello world, which is a function which is provided to you by default by JavaScript, or you can also say alert hello world. So what does this do? Alert is a default function provided to you by JavaScript. Whatever you write inside the arguments to this function, it will show you a pop-up box where it will put hello world as a string. So I'll save this page and I will refresh my web page. So when I refresh this page, JavaScript says hello world. So this is an alert which has been shown to me by JavaScript. I'll say OK and my page will be loaded, and now no hello world has been written because I replaced my line which said document.write hello world with alert hello world. So this is how you will write JavaScript in a web page. So hopefully you understood from all the discussions we had in this video about JavaScript and how to write JavaScript. So in the second video we'll start working with the variables using JavaScript. So thanks for watching this video, and I'll hopefully see you in the next video.